Hey, what's happening, guys? Good morning. You've tuned into Rules for Rebels. In today's video, we're going to call this video a PSA, or a public service announcement for cryptocurrency and Bitcoin investors. It's been a wild week. It's been a wild 24 hours for crypto. Bitcoin soared past $8,000 yesterday. Tons of good news coming out. Bakkt is going to be rolling out Bitcoin futures. eBay announced they're going to start dealing with cryptocurrency. The other week we had Facebook announcing a coin. It's like every day there's more good news, there's more positive news. It's very reminiscent of 2017 in terms of like the feeling of excitement and optimism. If you go on the Bitcoin subreddits or Bitcoin forums, Facebook groups, people are posting all the memes, right? The roller coaster meme, what's that one with the Middle Eastern guys kind of doing the Irish dance? Obviously can't be Irish dancing in Middle Eastern, but the guys like dancing through those halls and that kind of underground thing and dancing and cheering, and then people flash up 6,000, 7,000. People obsessively checking their either CoinMarketCap or their Blockfolio app or their Delta app, and seeing yourself making hundreds of dollars like every time that you check, seeing either your entire portfolio or coins go up 30-35% in a day. Just a lot of this excitement that we had back in 2017, and a lot of people lost a lot of money. A lot of people made a lot of stupid decisions. A lot of people went into things without a plan. A lot of people FOMO'd, myself included. So I kind of wanted to drop a video just kind of encouraging people to kind of think about what they're doing, not be hasty, go into this with a plan. And I also kind of wanted to share a little bit of a personal anecdote that'll maybe kind of illustrate this for you guys. So I'd love to hear your guys' input, kind of what your cryptocurrency journey has been, kind of what your predictions for the future are. But really 3 things that I wanted to mention is, number 1, have a plan. Number 2, take profits. Number 3, don't be greedy. Now these things are very easy to do, but it's simple, but it's not easy. As far as having a plan, everybody should have a plan with all your money. Even outside of investing, with your daily, your weekly, your monthly money, have a budget. There's so many people who don't have a budget, and they just kind of get their money and they spend it, and the next thing they know, payday's coming up and they're broke and they're trying to scratch through the next couple days. So give every dollar a plan, both in your everyday life and investing, but this is especially important in investing. Have a plan, even in stock market investing, which is much less volatile and much less emotional and much slower moving than cryptocurrency. Even in stock market investing, right? You should always go into things with a plan. Have a trading plan. I actually took a kind of stock investing, futures and options and Forex class a while back. And that was the biggest thing, is like have a trading plan. Never put more than 2% of your entire portfolio at risk on a trade. Always set a stop loss, a 0.5% lower, and then have a target or multiple targets of when you're going to get out. It's very easy to see a coin starting to skyrocket and then to FOMO and freak out and throw all your money in, whereas maybe it'd be a wiser decision to wait for a pullback or to start dollar cost averaging in, so you don't miss out if it continues to run. But if it drops, you're going to continue dollar cost averaging and lower your basis price. So go into this with a plan. Right now, sit down and tell yourself, how much crypto am I going to buy? Don't freak out and go sell your motorcycle and dump it into crypto. Like, sit down right now and, okay, I'm going to put $50 a week in, or I'm going to put $500 in today. Have a plan for, like, what's your target? At what point do you want to get out? At what point are you going to start taking profits? Come up with a plan, and then don't deviate from that plan no matter what. No matter how sweet the market looks, no matter how scary things look, don't deviate from that trading plan, because you sat down and made that trading plan with a clear mind, and you don't want to start making decisions willy-nilly when the market starts going crazy. Number 2, take profits. I'm going to link to a video from Brian Phobos down below, and I'll have to see if we can get him on the channel. I'd love to talk crypto with him, but even just talk. He's big into business. He's done pretty well drop shipping in a very kind of unique way that he drop shipped. He does very, very smart with like computer science and things like that. He's also done some interesting business things. I met up with him last year at the Indiana Dunes, and we kind of hung out for the day, and we've been friends on Steemit and YouTube and online for a while. But he's a great guy. I'd love to get him on a channel. But again, I'm going to link to his video. He did a video about kind of his plan to take profits, and I forget exactly what it was off the top of my head, but it was like when his coins or his portfolio like 5x, he's going to take so much money off the table. When they 10x, he's going to take so much money off the table. When they 15x, he's going to take some money off the table. And then he's either going to use that money to diversify into other assets, whether it be real estate, stocks, whatever else, or he's going to sit on the sidelines and wait for things to dip and then kind of buy back in and increase his position. But he did a great video on this topic the other day, so I'm going to link to that one down below as well. And then lastly is just don't be greedy. Realize that your idea of life-changing money is probably lower than you think it is. And just don't be greedy, right? Make smart decisions. And really kind of all of this, I think, kind of boils down to don't be greedy. So a little personal anecdote from my life. I was involved in crypto back in late 2012, early 2013. I wish I would have held more of it. I wish I would have continued dollar cost averaging through the 2018 bull market, but quite honestly, I'd kind of given up on crypto. I was kind of frustrated by the losses I took. Long story short, when Bitcoin was at like $800, I had quite a bit of it. It was going from 800 to 1200, back to 800, 1200, 800 to 1200 for literally like a number of weeks, a month, maybe even 6 weeks. It was doing this like clockwork. And I never cashed anything out because I was in it for the long term, right? I was expecting it to potentially be huge someday. I don't know how much I believed in it, but I thought, $100,000, whatever. Even way before most people were involved in crypto or really took it seriously. And my business partner and my friend at the time, as well as my dad, were like, man, like, you're not making any money just sitting on this stuff. Like, every time it goes from 8 to 1200, you could be pocketing $400 per Bitcoin. Like, why don't you trade? You're not locking it into your gains. And I kind of told him, I'm into this for the long haul. I'm not trying to make, I'm trying to make big money. I'm not trying to make $400. And after them kind of getting in my ear enough, I kind of started second guessing my own plans, and I saw, Bitcoin moving like clockwork, and I'm like, this is too easy. So I had a couple of successful trades, made a little bit of money, but after that, Bitcoin went from 8 to like 11. I sold at 11, planning on buying back in when it dipped back down to 8 or 9, and it just never dipped. It ran to 3, then it ran to 5, and then over the course of 45 days, we went from 3,000 or 5,000 up to almost 20,000. And I was kind of kicking myself for having sold off and taken minuscule profits when Bitcoin really started to run. And I continued to buy all the way up to 20,000. I was buying at 18,000. I legitimately thought it was going to 100,000. And even after things crashed, I was still in the green, but it was very, very depressing. Like I said, I'd kind of given up on Bitcoin. I went on a vacation with my girlfriend, my parents, my sister, and my nephew down to Mexico. I think it was like February of 2018. And, crypto at that point had fallen quite a bit, but it wasn't anywhere near, I think it was still above 10K. But, I got greedy. When it went from 19 to 17, I was like, oh, it's fallen. Maybe I should take some profits, but I couldn't make myself do it, right? I'm like, well, it was at 19. Why would I sell at 17? Every Bitcoin, that's $2,000. If you had 5 Bitcoins, that's 10 grand. If you had 10 Bitcoins, that's 20 grand. So I'm gonna wait for it to go back up to 19. And as we all know, it never went back up to 19. It went from 17 to 16 to 15 to 14 to 13 to 10 to 9 to 7, and eventually down to just over $3,000. And, oddly enough, it didn't really hit me that hard. I'm not going to say it didn't sting losing that money. It definitely did, and it definitely played in my mind. And that's kind of why when I went on this vacation, I said, okay, I'm just going to completely tune out for a week. When I come back, I'll get back into it, but I'm not going to check any prices. I'm not going to go on the crypto subreddit. Like, I'm just going to completely put this out of my mind and enjoy my vacation for a week. And I did that, but when I got back, I just never got back into crypto. It was really kind of depressing looking at the losses. Nothing was really exciting was happening in the space. Prices weren't going anywhere. I was kind of frustrated and angry that I hadn't taken out more money, or taken out more profits, I should say. And, then a year went by, and now, crypto's getting back exciting. And I suppose maybe I'm a little bit of a fair weather fan. It's kind of funny. I was watching Crypto Bobby last night, and he's somebody he's held steadfast, man. He's been interested in crypto and making his crypto videos all through the past year and a half of a really depressing crypto market. And he was kind of commenting on how a lot of these kind of fair weathered fans, or people who hopped into crypto when it got hot, are now starting to come back around. And they kind of, have been nowhere to be seen for the past year. But a couple of just things I wanted to say is first off, when things tanked, it really didn't sting as much as you would think. Like, if I lost, that amount of money in cash, I would probably be ready to jump off a building. Because it was in crypto, it almost didn't feel like real money, and it's kind of a hard thing to explain. I think part of it was, even though 2017 wasn't that long ago, like Coinbase and the on-ramps and off-ramps from crypto to fiat weren't what they are today. Nobody had really cashed huge amounts of money out of Coinbase before. Some people were having bank accounts shut down. And in part of my mind, I almost kind of felt like until this money is actually into fiat and sitting in my bank account, it's almost not even like real money. So that was kind of part of it. It was very easy to not really look at it like real money. Then you kind of have the whole thing, easy come, easy go. I kind of told myself, scared money don't make money. And if I didn't kind of have some guts and some grit, I wouldn't have wrote it up to 20,000 in the first place. So I can't now be scared later. It's kind of having a little bit of a risk tolerance that puts you in a position to make that money in the first place. I thought crypto was really exciting because there were a lot of it was almost like winning the lottery. There were a lot of normal everyday people. I mean, there were kids who were working at Sbarro or wherever else who literally became millionaires overnight, or literally almost overnight. And it just kind of felt like something that could change people's lives dramatically in the snap of a finger. And it was happening to normal everyday people and our peers, and it was easy to kind of get greedy. And when Bitcoin was at 20,000 or approaching 20,000, as far as why I didn't sell and take profits, because my dad had told me, he's like, you should take some money out of here, you never know what'll happen. I was like, no, it's going to 100,000, this and this. And I think in my head I had a warped perception of money and what life-changing money was. I had a couple $1,000s grow to not never work again money, not buy mansions and Lambos money, but enough money that I could have paid off my house. And I guess kind of my thinking was, I thought Bitcoin could potentially really change my life and really change a lot of people's lives. And having a paid off house would be awesome. It's not thoughts on yachts money, right? I'm not going to be riding on a yacht smoking blunts with Jay-Z off of, a couple $100,000. I was in it to potentially make millions and never have to work again, and to kind of, live this wild life and do all these things that we think are almost never possible or whatever. And, that money had grown to a lot of money. I was like, yeah, I could pay off my house and not have a house payment. That would be pretty awesome. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just buying myself a secure middle-class life. Whereas there was this possibility of this rap music video life if you sat on your Bitcoins and held on to Bitcoins. And then we saw things tank, and, kind of looking back at it about year and a half later, I had some small house repairs coming up. I needed a new washer and dryer. I got my dryer, the lid won't work, so I had to jam a piece of wood in there and kind of rig it up. I mean, I need a new washer and dryer. That's going to be a couple grand. I wanted to put a shed in the backyard. I wanted to remodel my bathroom. And, I think back and I'm like, man, I could have sold one Bitcoin and taken care of all of this stuff plus more. Or, having a paid off house, I wouldn't have a $1,300 a month mortgage. Just all the things that money could have done. And at the time I was like, who wants to buy themselves a middle class life? A couple $100,000, that's not really life-changing money. I want the big money. And in reality, it would be pretty sweet to not have a house payment, right? All my money could go into investments or traveling or whatever else. That would really kind of, in a way, you're not rich, you're not buying mansions and Lambos, but that would really kind of set you up for life. And so that's kind of my last message is, think about what you want out of life. Think about how much money it would take to get there. And for me, I'm not really looking to have a yacht. I'm not looking to buy a Lambo. I'd like to be able to live my life in a way that money has no bearing on my decisions. So where I want to live, what I want to do, how I schedule my day-to-day, money to not even play a role in terms of what job am I going to have, can I afford to live here, not talking millions of dollars, just talking enough to where I can live my life the way I want to without money really playing or factoring into the decision at all. I'd like to have a nice little vacation house somewhere. Again, not a mansion, just a second vacation house somewhere warm, Mexico, Aruba, or whatever else. And so kind of going into it this time around, I have a plan. I'm not going to be greedy. I'm going to take profits along the way, and I'm going to diversify and put that money into some other things, whether it be real estate, the stock market, index funds, whatever else. And I kind of realize now that I don't need millions of dollars, that, getting myself set up with a nice little nest egg, paying off the house, putting some money into retirement, I'm cool with that. So that's really kind of just wanted to give you guys some kind of food for thought, some things to think about as the crypto market gets kind of really hyped and really exciting here. Kind of keep a level head and don't do anything stupid. So that's all I got for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.